He's a nice guy. He's pretty cool. Okay. Sounds good. Hey, hey, how you doing? Pretty good. Surviving the West. Let's see here. Let's put you into the guest position. There we go. And that works there, that works there. Okay. Alright, finish up the Discord stuff. And then we should be able to... Oh, that's not it. Hey, Mike. This is John. Mike. John. I think I've gotten everything, every place I usually do. Oof. Alright. So, what I figured, John, is we'll do your interview real quick. You're welcome to stick around for news if you want, or you can ditch out. It's up to you. But I've just got a few news items that I'd like to cover. Um, so, like the Dragonlance TV not happening, which I'm kind of bummed about. I was really excited about that thought process. And Ad Astra is got released today, so I'm contractually obligated to at least talk about it. So simple things like that. Oh, and obviously I got your game up because I'd like to show people it because it's pretty cool graphic wise. It's also really good mechanically too. I'm not just saying the graphics are the only thing. Mechanically, it's interesting too. Um, so I think God, my neck is killing me. I went to PT because my shoulders started hurting me, and I'm hurting now more than when I started PT. It will help. It just will take time. So we had more than 2 people watching, and one of them's me. I go early, but it takes like 20 minutes sometimes to get people onto Twitch. It's weird. I have no idea why. I shared it around too. I gotta find more places to share, honestly. I think I've tapped out all of the ones that I usually share on. Spreading is hard. Social media is hard. Good luck. I haven't figured it out yet. I've been doing it 6 months. Yeah, my thought process is I do what I like, and people eventually come. So. That's my thought process. I can tell you one thing that doesn't work is Facebook ads. It is weird. It's like way more expensive than Facebook ads. That being said, I'm gonna try Google ads here shortly, so I'll tell you. Because I gotta start getting my Backerkit. I gotta start getting some emails on my Backerkit. Not sure how I'm gonna do it. But good news is I kind of will know what to... I'll probably figure 10% of the people that sign up for the email will probably buy it, and I'll just set my Backerkit goal to be whatever that is. So... Right, exactly. I mean, because I've had too many of my friends sign up for it, and it's like, I know they're not going to buy it. Well, some of them will, but, you know, like, non-RPGers are signing up for it. I'm like, they're not going to buy it, so... So I've gotta kind of calculate that into the numbers that I'm getting from my Backerkit emails. On the other hand, I know that I've gotten some people from Easy D6 community that I know will probably back it. So it's not like I don't think there will be people backing it. But I also want it to succeed too, so... Yeah, I'm pretty sure you are. But then, that's a whole nother thing. There's people that I'd rather just give the book to because they were so crucial to helping me develop it. and they're all signed up for it. So it's like, but it's like buyers. I'm to that point where I'm gonna have to find another DM to play the game without me, so I can see if they can figure out my horrible writing. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, it definitely is. I would definitely appreciate a read through. I think you've already read through it once, didn't you? Yeah. And I do have an editor. Yeah, I gotta give it to her. But she missed a lot of stuff in my Easy D6, I've noticed. So, I'm debating about finding a different editor. Let's see here. Why to blur the background? No. I could probably try to do it in my software. Let me see here. Sorry, Mike, I don't have that plugin installed. um, Alright, let's see here. Okay, it's 8 o'clock. We have at least one other person watching it. Let's get started. Studio mode. Here we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Geekout, our special weekly podcast. Mike's back. We're very happy about that.
Hey, everybody.
Because the last few weeks I felt like I was talking to myself, even though the chat was very, very communicative. It's easier when you have somebody else to talk to. We do have a special guest, Jon. Jon, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself so the folks know who you are and what you do and the amazing stuff you've made?
Sure. I guess most recently it's been creating my first TTRPG with a friend of mine, Sarah. We spent the last couple of years on it because it's been quite a learning process. But it's called How to Survive Zombies If You're a Zero. It's set in the zombie apocalypse we always say, with a taste for the hilarious. Because it's a zero, right? You're not a hero in the game, so people are gonna die. So it's like, how can we make dying fun? And we've found the right balance, I think, of comedy in that sense. So you can play it like super grim, super serious if you want, but having it be that sort of like, oh, you tripped and you fell over, crashing into a bunch of computers, you're tangled up in cables, you can't get out, and you start getting munched on. Stuff like that's happened in playtesting, and it's been hilarious right from the start. So yeah.
So okay, so you've made your own game, you've published it through Drive-Thru.
Correct.
So, what have you learned from your experience?
Oh
Hey,
boy.
Sage is on.
Hey, hey. Um, a lot. There's a lot. There's so much. Um,
I
from a
know, I've
design,
learned a lot
yeah,
too.
yeah. From a design perspective, I would say a lot of it was we really had to sort of come up with like a core concept and really kind of stick to that because I started branching off left and right, trying this, trying that, making this way more complicated than it needs to be. And once we kind of started doing that, and Sarah was good about that, pulling the reins back and like, hey, we said we are going to do this like a little more simply, a little more straightforward. And I was like, yeah, you're right. So for me, learning to do that and kind of just keep that vision in mind was a big thing. Another big thing was like rapid iteration and testing. So like, don't spend a month making a bunch of changes because you don't know if they're going to work inherently, and you'll start building on those. So if you can test something like make changes this week and test it with your group the next week, you really get a lot of feedback right away, and that was able to help us not stray too far away, but also really dial in the good things that were working well.
Okay, that's just what I've been doing with Grimwood, so it's good to
Yep.
know that I'm doing something right.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
so what? So what? Go ahead and take us through the basic mechanics because it's kind of interesting because you really put a heavy focus on skill checks in the game.
Yeah. And it depends on how you want to run it too. You don't have to inherently put a ton of emphasis on that, but in general,
It recommends it in the
um,
book.
yeah. The skill checks, no, for sure. Yeah, the skill check. I just don't want people to think like because with skill checks you fall into that overuse sometimes, especially like in
Right.
D&D, like perceptions. Like you enter a room, okay, we want to look around,
Yeah,
roll
no, I,
perception.
I
Yeah,
apologize.
yeah.
It definitely
No, 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 no,
doesn't. It
no.
says not to do stuff like that in the
Yeah,
book.
yeah, no, no. I just wanted to make sure.
But
Yeah, yeah.
everything is a skill check. Even weapon attacks is a skill check.
Sort of, yeah. The main concept is you're rolling a d10,
Hmm.
right? Basic line 6 or higher is a success, 5 or lower is a failure. And when you build your character, you have 7 stats. And following the theme of being in 0, they actually all start at 0. So any given check that way is a 50-50 shot. You can choose to customize your character by increasing up to 3 stats by +1, +2, or +3. Which if you have a +3, right, you're going to roll at bare minimum of 4, so you're right there to
Right.
succeed. And there's a succeed at a cost thing, so you can basically never sort of fail in that sense. But the trade-off is every stat you raise, you have to lower another one by the same amount. So inherently, if you're going to be really good at something, you also are going to be really bad at something. And with that, the further away you get from the middle, so 6, 7 is success, 8 or 9 is like an extra good success, and a 10 or higher is like a super success. So there's sort of degrees of success. There's also degrees of failure as well. And we've been able to use those results to sort of drive the story of what's happening in the game. So if you roll something like I always use a good example of a force check, like if you're trying to force open a door, if you roll really poorly, it's not like, oh, you just didn't open the door. It's like now the alarm goes off that you didn't check for. And like now there's
Right.
zombies coming after you. It could be something like that. It could also be mechanical as well. We have things like fatigue in the system, injuries in the system. Um, so a lot of times the skill checks really sort of help tell that story as well of what's going on. So it's not just I didn't do it or I did it.
Right. I really enjoyed that. And it's one of those things that I do enjoy having that kind of narrative, like you've succeeded, but
Yeah,
type
yeah, right.
situation. Uh, but so okay. I asked DM Scotty this, so I'm gonna ask you.
Sure.
Um, what is your favorite thing about the system, and what is your least favorite thing about the system?
That's a good question. Favorite thing about the system? It honestly probably is those skill checks and being able to have tiered successes and failures. I found it really gives a lot of opportunity for creativity as the person running the game, but also the players as well. Sometimes I'll ask my players, like, "Yeah, you just pooched this. Like, what do you think would happen?" And sometimes they come up with stuff I wouldn't even think of either. So I found that it really drives that it can really customize that story with that system. So I think probably that's my favorite system. Least favorite? That's a good question.
It's a hard question because you're also you're trying to, yeah, but there I can tell you right now what least favorite thing in Grimwood right now.
Yeah, yeah,
But it's I don't like my target number system right
sure.
now because
Okay,
it doesn't have the skill check system. Like it doesn't have the varying degrees like you're talking about in your game.
gotcha, gotcha. I think I could say sort of one thing,
Sure.
but I did address it, so it's kind of a cop out answer. Um,
Hey, that's
but
fine.
yeah, we both originally came just like straight from D&D into this, played a handful of other games, but mostly D&D. So when we designed the system for combat, it was the roll, just a normal initiative style roll using the speed stat and contested dice rolls and everything. We did it that way, which is cool because it adds more variability. But I felt it really kind of dragging down. And as I learned more systems and more initiative things, it's like, man, I really wish we could have changed that. And I managed to sneak something in at the last minute, as far as an optional set of calling it like cinematic fight rules, where now it's just sort of side initiative, like ECD6. You can do it that way, and I was able to figure out static numbers, where as the person running the game, I didn't have to do any rolls. You can
Nice.
take the zombies that are in there or the NPCs that are in there and just do a quick conversion, and that kind of makes everything flow a lot faster. And so it's which is nice because you can mix and match too. You don't have to stick individually to each system.
Right.
So I
So
think that was probably the one that I didn't like the most. I just happened to get something in there right at the end. It was like within the last 2 weeks.
So Sage asked a question, and what motivated you to create a zombie survival game or this
Sure.
particular RPG?
Yeah. For me personally, I really like zombie movies. I really like zombie shows. So I was kind of in on that already. Sarah, the person that wrote it or brought up the idea, she had a fever dream one night about this game. She kind of just woke up, and I got a message from her later that day. She's like, "Hey, can we jump on a call?" I was like, "Sure, yeah." And she had like 6 hours worth of work done, like partially designed out already, all these basic rules. And that's where it kind of started. And she's like, what can we do with this? She had the idea of the stats of the plus and the minus.
Yeah, that's a
Doing
great
that,
idea.
The balancing.
yeah. And I'd only played outside of D&D, I'd only played the Star Wars Fantasy Flight game. And I never even got to play. I made a character for Blades in the Dark. But I saw the sort of tiered successes and things like that in those games. So I was like, well, what if we just take like a D10 or something and try that out, and kind of ran with it. And it was really fun right from the beginning. Again, we wanted to put humor into it. Like as soon as we got that system sort of down, that basic idea, we ran a test, and we were dying laughing the whole time because it was a really great time. And it also set a tone though as well, where it was
Right.
super creepy at times and then super funny at times.
Speaking of tone, the let's go ahead. I'm going to show some of the screens because
Sure.
this game is absolutely well designed, like as far as layout is concerned. And I know you said Sarah did a lot of it, but it's still really nicely done. Um, it's very colorful, something that you wouldn't expect from a zombie apocalypse game. And like the font that you guys used is easy to read and yet very creative. It's a gorgeous, and on top of that, the character sheet is easy to read. Hey Jay, thanks for joining. Um, but so what um what's the one thing that you want somebody to know about, like take away from the game? I know, hard questions. I'm right there. I'm actually excited to try this game.
Yeah,
Honestly,
and I think you reinforced that as well with the simple character creation, right? Simple character creation, um, and then the right off the bat, how to survive as a zero. Uh, I love that idea because it means you're going in not as an overpowered character inherently. So you know, it forces, well, in my mind, it forces me to be more creative and not rely on all this other stuff like we have in many other RPG systems, where now it's about creativity. What's in the environment that I can use? What are the one or two things that I am good at that I can try and pull out here, right? How can I be creative with those skills and really challenge the GM with, or challenge the challenge the GM with the things that I am doing and how I'm trying to use those skills. So I think that's great. Hmm. Hmm.
Break down in the city or whatever. Sometimes you're dealing with dilapidated buildings or whatever. So, being creative in that environment, like you said, I think
Hmm.
really lends itself well to, um, uh, yeah, experiencing what you can come up with on the fly as you
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
I just made a huge mistake, and
Okay.
I apologize.
That's okay.
I clicked the wrong button on OBS. They probably didn't hear anything you said for the past 2 minutes.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Sweet.
So sorry. Um,
Past
uh,
2 minutes?
uh, are you guys hearing John now?
Can
Test,
you hear me?
test.
I will
I
not make the Verizon joke.
just making sure. You
Well,
should.
when you said jerk, I instantly thought Martin Sheen and
Yeah.
or not. I'm sorry, not Martin Sheen. Who was that?
Steve
That was
Martin.
thank you. Yeah, Steve
There was
Martin was
supposed to be
Yeah.
another voice here, Jay. I'm so sorry. I feel horrible that I clicked the wrong button. And I didn't notice because I have this new monitor set up by my camera. So I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
looking at you guys through my camera, not
Yeah.
through my
Yeah.
OBS. So I
Right.
didn't actually notice. Um, why don't we go
Sure.
back through and talk
Quick
about real
summary.
quick summary of what we said? So Mike really congratulated you on your game, and then you said something really interesting, and I apologize.
Sure. Which interesting part was that?
I'm trying to remember.
Right after what Mike said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So talking about using the environment, right, and being creative and seeing what you can use in the environment to deal with bad situations. And we tried to reinforce that in the book, where like there's zombie fights. There's enemy NPC fights, which again we just call them jerks. You have friends and jerks. And then and there's actually like environmental fights where like you're trying to deal with the environment itself, where it's in the apocalypse, things are breaking down, buildings are breaking down. So sometimes you have to deal with those dangers, but also how can you use those dangers to your advantage? If you get trapped in some kind of building, well, if the ceiling's starting to cave in, can I disable a wall somehow and have it crash down on a bunch of zombies and take them out? Something like that. Or sometimes one of our most fun playtests involved not even, there wasn't even any zombies. It was just jerks in the environment. You literally, I had people up on a rooftop running away from some jerks that were trying to get them, and their only path to escape was to try and parkour their way across 7 other rooftops to get to the mall to disappear. And we had a blast. It was fantastic.
You also have a system in here. They're kind of feat based, but it's not really feats. They're you guys call them They're
Wits, yeah.
wits. They're really
Short,
interesting.
short for what it takes to survive.
What it
Essentially,
takes.
that was another Sarah coinage. Yeah.
I really like that coinage quite a bit. Um, but they're interesting because some of them aren't necessarily mechanical. I noticed some
Okay.
of them are kind of narrative, and I mean, they have a mechanical side to them. Your game kind of mixes mechanical and narrative together a
Sure.
lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, which is great. I like that. I like those type of games. Um, so when are you gonna do an Alien one with this system?
An alien. I mean, it's been asked before actually. Aliens, how do you survive zombies if you're an alien, or how to survive aliens if you're some kind of starship pilot or
um,
something. That would be
but
like the full title, I think.
I um
Definitely possible.
yeah, no, it's definitely possible. It's a really interesting system. I really enjoyed reading it. Um,
Thank you.
I did just read it last night, as you know, because
Yeah.
we talked quite a bit. Um, but that's all right. It was an enjoyable read.
Good.
Um,
Good.
what about how do you guys handle like a person getting bit by a zombie, like the disease part of it?
Sure. The options are you get bit, you're going to die at some point, right? That could be the way to go about it. But we thought about what if, again, we want players to die, but we don't want them to instantly die all the time where you're making a new character every 5 minutes. So it's like, how can we approach that from like an infection, like a disease kind of approach? So if you do get hit by a zombie, there's a check for infection. You make a resilience roll. Each zombie has each zombie can be more potent than the others. And if you succeed, you're just not infected on that hit. They happen to not bite you. Maybe they scratched you. If you do get that, you get 1 stack of infection, and it's bad because it's a -1 to all your stats. Oh yeah, it's rough, but it can be cured. The way
Okay,
we put it in there, there's a lot of options in that. That was one of the tougher parts. It's like, how do we put that into play? Basically, anytime you take a good night's sleep, which is our rest mechanic, you have to take antibiotics. If you don't, you gain another stack. Gain 5 stacks, you're dead. And then you can basically whittle it down from there.
so I leaned forward to help my mic because I am fully up,
Yeah.
Wes. So that's I probably getting closer to the mic will probably help. Um, what did you find the most difficult to? What did you end up rewriting 6 or 7 times? Let's rephrase that because
Oh, that's a good question.
you end up
Yeah,
rewriting everything 6 or 7 times pretty much. But
yeah. I would say probably the most. I got the book right here. Let's take a look real quick. Ultimately, I think the gear section, we had a lot more complicated things with that, where it was a matter of things could break and you could craft in here in this game and stuff like that, and you can repair. And we kind of went too in depth initially with that, and it was like a lot of extra checks and this and that, and like we had like a durability system for it, and we're like, this is just confusing. And I found in my own play tests with my own group, I wasn't even worried about it. So I was like, if we're not doing it, it's not fun. Like, just get rid of it. So trying to figure that out and how we can move that around to now it's just sort of like a gear break check. If you think the gear would break in this instance, if someone's using a sword to pry something out, like it might break there, we can make a roll. And if it breaks, you can still repair it. But that's sort of that's the basic end of it. And we tried to use all the gear you can craft. We tried to map it around that same D10 system where it's like, again, 6 or 7, you craft the thing, 4 or 5, you don't, and you lose like a component or something. And then if you get better and better, you craft it with extra properties. If you get lower and lower, you lose more components, or you just lose them all, something like that. So it was really like we were trying to make something work that wasn't lined up again with that sort of main goal and the main systems. Once we kind of realized that, it helped dial it back in, but it took a while to get there.
Yeah, that was, excuse me. As I was flipping through here, I was surprised to see a repair system. I was like, oh, well, that's interesting. That, as you said, you're trying to keep it more simplistic. So to see
Mhm.
that, and then as I read through it to see what it would apply to, I was like, oh, that's really cool that you have it. You have the ability to repair should something happen, but really
Mhm.
it's focused on, like you said, how are you employing this thing inside the environment? How are you trying to use it? The
Right.
potentiality for it to break.
Yep, for sure. And there's that gear break check, but also it could be just like if you roll a 1, that's a grim complication, and your staff you're using to pole vault through, pole vault over something breaks and you come crashing down. So
I would not recommend a 1 on a explosive check, though. They seem very dangerous in the game.
Yeah. They do a lot of damage. Yeah, they will kill you in one hit. Yeah.
So, what made you decide to go with damage as a straight number instead of roll?
Again, coming from D&D, and it's not necessarily knock on the system, but there was a lot of rolls involved with that. Roll your attack, roll damage, roll this and that. And I was just, in my mind and in our mind, really, once we talked about it, it was like we want to have something simple. And I figured just if we can take one roll out of that, like I know there's games now that are getting rid of the to hit roll. You're just rolling damage, and then there's defense and armor, sort of like the crown and skull and stuff. But I figured, why not just make it flat damage? That way we always know what we have, and we're always dealing, as a player, you also know what you're capable of in that way. Which, because sometimes when you just, say, cool, I crit, and then I roll 2 1s. That happened in your game. Right? I rolled 2 12s and it got crit, and I rolled extra dice, and I rolled all of them were 1s.
Yeah.
So that was kind of annoying. So it really came from like a simplicity's sake, but then also you kind of know what you're capable of as a player. And then from a balancing issue, it made it a lot easier for me to like balance the zombies out. Like, cool, this one should die in X number of hits from a 2-handed weapon or from a 1-handed weapon. And that just made more sense, I think. And it was easy to do.
It keeps it also, as you said, on that simple side. And people don't have to do that horrible thing called math.
Yeah.
Dice rolls, right?
Yeah.
So it helps with that, helps to expedite that as well. Yeah.
I can't wait till I get my crown and skull. It's in the mail. So.
Oh, it is. Am I going to be too jealous right now?
Yes, you are. That's the one I bought. I bought that one.
Yeah. It was hard to say no.
It was hard to say no. It was an expensive purchase, but
oh
God.
That's so nice, though. Like all the paper, like it's just this really nice, thick cardstock almost. Yeah.
Makes me jealous that I'm probably going to go through Drive-Thru RPG for my book.
Yeah, I feel you. It's not terrible though. It really isn't. They feel good.
So Wes from DM Tale says, I need to order mine so everyone can show up now.
Yeah.
No, I have other books that are from Drive-Thru, and they're fine. It's just you don't get all the nice little cool things from
the faux leather, the stitch binding, all that stuff. Yeah. I get that.
You don't get all that. So what's your next game? Have you decided?
I'm not sure right now. We are working on a supplement book for zombies.
Okay,
we
cool.
kind of decided we want to make it's up in the air between like an urban or like a wilderness campaign. And I think we want to do wilderness, but we want to include like a bunch of like an actual sort of campaign in a way. But not like a railroad in any way. We're trying to populate the area with different locations, different NPCs, and like what their behaviors would be, so that you can really kind of adapt it to what the players do. But also with that, more wits, more zombies, more jerks, all that good stuff, more gear. So that's our next supplement. As far as game goes, I've got a couple I'm testing out, but I'm not 100% sure yet.
So your next thing's going to be a supplement for it. Are you including animals in this one?
Yeah, we want to put animals in it. Either if it's wilderness, wild animals. If it's in an urban one, we'd actually probably put like a pets thing in there, where you can actually maybe there's a way you can train dogs and stuff.
That would no zombie.
The zombie. We're thinking about it. That's the big question, right? It's like, do we make the animals more dangerous by making them zombies? They're already pretty dangerous enough, but it's probably gonna happen. Let's be realistic, based on the way we made this game. Like, I can imagine a zombie squirrel coming at you. Just falls out of it's not very nimble anymore, so it just falls out of the tree on you. Something like that.
Climbs up your leg and goes for your nuts.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up so I didn't have to say it.
I know you were thinking it.
Everyone was thinking it.
But okay, so that sounds really cool. So where can they pick this up? So
Sure,
everybody
it is
knows.
on Drive-Through RPG. You can search "How to Survive Zombies If You're a Zero." If you want a short link, I have a bit.ly link, bit.ly/zombiesjon, and it's spelled Jon. So if that's easier for you to get there.
Yeah, I
And then
thought
you can also check out our website too. Illuminacrum.com is the company that Sarah started, so it's on there as well.
my Stream Deck is not working, or I would just post it because that's what. Fine. Stream Deck, I set you up specifically so I could send this one thing.
And I knew I was coming. It's like, nah, screw that guy. And I'm also gonna mute you.
All right. Well, all right. Have no idea why it's not working, but
Yeah, it's fine. If you go to Drive-Through and you search "How to Survive,"
yeah, that's
I
how I
think it's
found
going to
it.
be on the.
It's
Yeah,
the
it's going to be up there.
I think it's like the first or second one if you search "How to Survive." Um,
Yep.
that's. I mean, those are all the major questions I have. Mike, do you have any other questions that you'd like to ask?
I like your tropes, right? They're simple enough,
Mhm.
but they're deep enough to have you thought about this, right?
Right.
And it gets into kind of the things you talked about earlier, plagued zombies, zombie infection, right? It kind of addresses those things on the
Mhm.
periphery for things to think about, additional things to add in. Environments are a big thing for me. I really like that the we're providing you with some details. We're not going to hamper you as the GM of creativity, but we're going to give you
Mhm.
that ability to expand a little bit if you like, or just keep it simple. And here's what you're staring at. Here's what you got. Kind of move forward. So I think simple things like that do a lot to help pull people in, right? In that change, when we change it from a plague zombie to like the robot zombies, right? It removes one of those things that we were worried about. Now we don't have to worry about the plagues going.
Mhm.
But what does robot zombie have that I have to worry about that a plague zombie doesn't now, right?
Yep.
So as a GM and as you're looking at your players and your characters, or excuse me, your players' characters, where are their lacks, where are they lacking?
Mhm.
It gives us that ability to kind of flex through those. So I think it's again really simple addition, but it's really great addition that helps to add to that flavor of play.
Yeah, for sure. And to go along with that, like the biggest thing we tried to include in the game as well is just in the book itself is like, cool. Here's how this system works. Here's what we suggest, but like go wild with it. We want people to be creative.
Right.
But to speak to the zombies, especially. So if anyone's wondering, there's your basic zombie grunts. We call them grunts. Those are your Walking Dead zombies. They're slow. They die really easily. Blah blah blah. Right. They only get really dangerous in a horde, which there are horde mechanics for.
Yes.
Um, but we made it like 20 different advanced zombies with different abilities, different things like that. So yeah, exactly to your point. The first time I ran a group with this for a few sessions, they got used to the grunts. And the first time I threw a wobbles at them, which is a zombie that has a broken leg, so it's wobbling as it moves. It's a lot harder to hit. And he was like, everyone was asking him, "Do you want help?" He's like, "No, I got this." And then he died because he couldn't hit the thing. So it creates that sort of built-in like roller coaster in a way of the players are feeling really strong at some point, and then they're also no matter how well they're doing, they could also feel really weak at certain points as well. And it kind of builds in that difficulty because when you have that sort of 1-to-1, or I don't know how I'm on camera, one of these lines, 1-to-1 ratio of like, cool, I got higher level, but so did the enemies. So now like it's the same fight all over again, and we won again. You know, there's it's sort of a built-in way to allow you to kind of do that up and down difficulty and experience where again you can kind of customize that to your players as well, especially like you said, looking at the weaknesses is like, what is this group weak at? Okay, cool, no one has strength. Right, this is, or force, I guess I should say. It's the actual stat. It's like, yeah, what can I put in this world that force is the obvious answer that's going to panic them, but what else can I include that they can kind of figure out on their own as well? How do they get around it? So yeah, that I was pretty happy with how that turned out. It's been a lot of fun.
Well,
Very cool.
You should be happy. This book is really amazing. It's really good.
Well,
Well
thank you.
done.
I really appreciate that.
I really enjoyed my read through it. Which I don't always say for a book, so that makes you Like there are books where I'm like, what were they thinking with the system?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I don't like overly complicated systems, so simplicity is a good thing for me. But you also grab that simplicity, but you still have enough chunk in there for people like me that
Hmm.
enjoy that. Um, like I like simplicity, but I want some meat to be able to like massage and that type
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah. Yeah, for sure. And then, and as you mentioned, the wits, the scale system. For everyone wondering, do your stats get bigger at any point? No, they don't. The level up mechanic is these skills, and you can basically, whenever you would level up, you just pick a new skill, and you can build very archetypal builds. And we have pre-made characters in the game for that. Like there is the medic, there is the tank, there is the parkour. Uh, but you can mix and match, and that was the cool thing too. When I first started testing the game, watching players just pick out like random, I'm going to be good at this and this and this, and they all provide little incremental bonuses. So you can be like really really hardcore good at one thing, or you can kind of spread it out. And getting to play around with that, I think, does add some crunch, add some depth, add some meat to it. So
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed the wit system. I'm looking forward to playing this and doing because I like creative characters. I typically don't play stuff that makes sense for the situation. Because I find that if I play something that doesn't make sense for the situation, it tends to lead to more creativity.
mhm.
Um, so not for everyone, but definitely for me, it does.
Yep, for
Yes,
sure.
Marvel the Multiverse is one of those crunchy systems. I don't know if I'd enjoy it. That being said, I am looking at my next book, and John has kind of talked me into doing superheroes. So, um,
I mean, that
uh,
was the poll too. It wasn't just me, but
yeah, it was the poll, but the poll was equal to fantasy superheroes.
fair.
Um, so my next book's gonna be superheroes, which I still have not figured out. Because you have that power structure, as we talked
Yeah.
about the other night. You have that power structure that you have to balance.
Yep.
So Sage says super friends. Um, don't worry, John and you will probably be dragged into a couple playtests early to be like, let's see how deadly this thing can be.
Yeah, yeah.
So okay, so anything else that you want the crowd to know before? Hello, hey, Frog. I saw your message earlier. I was talking. Anything else that you want them to know about the book or about what's coming up?
I think we covered most of the book, really.
I did too. Yeah, we pretty much
Yeah,
covered
yeah.
most of it.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a really good time. If you want, and what's cool is if you want to run it like super serious, sort of that grim feeling, it's easy enough to do if you just keep items away from them, away from the players. That's one way of going about it. But I found running that midpoint where like half the time they're terrified, half the time they're kind of laughing. It creates this interesting environment flow. So that's really the biggest, not to say selling point, but I think that provides a really fun experience overall. So that's what I'd recommend. And as far as anything in the future, not necessarily. Like I said, we're just starting to work on this book. We're starting to figure out, like I said, we were talking about this right before, trying to figure out the marketing side of this. How do we get the word out? So I'm going to be running more playtests coming up, or not playtests, demo games coming up. And I'm sure I can pop into Dave's the Grimwood server here on Discord
Absolutely.
and start sharing that way. And I'd love to get some players going in some games. So just be on the lookout for that.
You can
right.
Definitely don't. You're always welcome here. So
Appreciate it.
We'll try to get a session going, to like try to um maybe get like a one shot Zombieland game
Yeah, yeah.
going because I definitely would like to play a Zombieland game, and this seems like the perfect system for it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm okay with horror, but I'm more okay when there's humor involved in the
Yeah,
horror.
yeah.
Like I could not play the new Aliens RPG game for
Okay.
Free League. It would just stress me out too much.
Gotcha.
Um,
Yeah. No, that's fair.
but okay. So are you gonna stick around, John?
Yeah, I can hang out.
All right, let's hang out and we'll go over a few other things that I'd like to go over today. The first being is that they are. That's not. Why do I have that as my first one? The first major news is that the Dragonlance TV series is no longer happening with Joe Manganiello. I don't know if people know who Joe is. You should if you're in this world because he's a pretty famous actor that does D&D. He's he had a Dragonlance TV series that he wrote that he was trying to spin off into a TV series, and he announced 2 days ago that it wasn't happening, that it got canceled. The other thing that happened this week, well, besides WotC being WotC, I don't even really want to talk about WotC anymore. I think they're really screwing over D&D. Magpie Games announced that you can pre-order Uncle Ira's Adventure Guide for the Avatar Legends RPG, which I'm excited for because I like that system. It's a really unique system for Avatar. And Ad Astra, the expansion to Mutant Year Zero, where you go out into space, came out today. I got a free review copy, so we will definitely be doing a review very shortly on the channel. I'm actually probably going to just do it live because I used to doing things live, and I did not get a print copy. No, I got a PDF, but PDF's good enough for me because I do everything PDF.
Yeah.
I did sign up to try to get a copy of the bestiary, but I doubt I have enough viewership for that. But for Dragonbane, because that comes out at the end of the month. Which I'm more excited about that than Ad Astra. But
you've had chance or time to play that as well, right? For Dragon's Bane.
Dragonbane? Oh God, yes. I
Yeah,
played
that's what I thought.
at PAX. I played with DM Tales. We went and played at Free League's Dragonbane table, and it was fun. It was a blast. I ended up screwing the whole party.
I feel like it would be a regret to not ask how, but
all right. So the whole concept was that we had to go into this room and try to steal a gem from the center of this pole, and then these skeleton-like creatures dropped down. So everybody else ran in. I was a wizard. I'm not running into a room with a whole bunch of skeletons. So they were all attacking, and then I killed two of them actually by throwing pillars up and slamming them up against the ceiling, basically. But I decided that we were going to lose the fight, so I decided, well, I'm not going to lose the fight. So I used a gust of wind to blow the gem to my feet, and then they finished off all the skeletons, and they took a step towards me, and 6 more dropped down. So I picked up the gem and closed the door and said, "Thanks, guys," and left.
oh, fantastic.
So I wasn't I wasn't going in the door. I just wasn't.
Your objective was to get the gem. You guys accomplished that together.
Um, it was the object was to get the gem, not save my party.
Yep.
Um, I completed
If
the
they make
object.
it back, they'll get the reward.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, um, it was great. It was a fun time, and I am going to be doing a one shot at uh, why did you have to name it so hard, Wes? I have such a hard time saying this. Excelicon? Excelicon? It's happening in Palmyra, New Jersey on April 12th through the 14th. Wes is putting it on for his church. And I'm doing a one shot about a wizard that has been polymorphed into a goat. Um, so it should be a fun blast for that. I'm also doing Grimwood City play test there, and I'm doing an easy D6 version of Grimwood City too. So um, I still got to write. Okay, yeah, I still have time. um, but yeah, so that's going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot of cool things going on there. He has quite a few DMs doing some really interesting things. There's Savage Worlds being played. There's World of Tanks. There's some 5e adventures going on. So Pathfinder, of course, my easy D6 stuff. There is going to be an Alien RPG, which I got a game at this. I don't have a game, but it's at 2 p.m. on Sunday, and I kind of want to get home at a reasonable hour on Sunday. So I probably won't play at it, but I'm really tempted to try to go to it. It just means that if I left there at 6 p.m., I wouldn't get home until 1 or 2 a.m. I don't know if I want to do that. But I'll definitely be there Friday and Saturday. Saturday all day for sure. I'm giving a talk there about Grimwood and my experience with it and putting it all together. My room is free, but that means I have to take another day off from work, and I don't get paid for the days off I take off from work because I'm contract. So I might still do it. I haven't I haven't stopped thinking about it. Oh, thanks for posting it. Um, uh, are you going to record or stream the talk? That's a good question, Wes. Is the internet strong enough there for me to stream? Because I'll bring a laptop and stream. My laptop is good. Then, yeah, I would say I'll probably stream that talk. Can't see why not. Um, yeah, we can definitely do that. That way people can see the talk, and if anything, we'll record it and I'll definitely put it up. But I could foresee us streaming. I can't see there's any problem with that. Um, that being said, I think that's they what all right, fine. I'm going to talk about WotC. They're releasing the making of the original Dungeons and Dragons. It's a book about how the concept and including never before seen first drafts of D&D, a curated collection of publicized fanzines and magazines. Each document is introduced. It looks really cool. That's coming out June. I don't know if I want to give them money though. I really don't. um, there won't be a problem. Good, strong mesh network in my 100. Okay, excellent. Then, um, yeah. So we'll stream it. That's happening. So people know that's happening. That event is happening at, what did we say? 7, 6 or 7? No, 5 on Saturday. If I'm wrong, I'm sure Wes will correct me. So that being I forgot. Yeah, 5:30 on Saturday. So we'll stream 5:30 on Saturday, and it's Eastern time, so it's the same time zone that I'm at, so that won't change. Um, they are coming out. They did announce. God dang it! I told myself I wasn't going to talk about WotC, but I have to. The new Players Edition handbook has been announced. Has been given a date for release. It's going to be September 17th, 2024. The DM guide's going to be November 12th, and then the Monster Manual is going to be February 18th of 2025. I did not want to talk about WotC because it's just screwing things all up. Yeah, Monster Manual will come out in 2025, which is common for them. Like for the past few releases of D&D, they've released the Monster Manual quite a few months after everything. That being said, I don't know. 2 months seems like a long time for Player's Guide and DM's Guide release time frames.
That does seem strange.
Curious how much is going to change.
I don't think a lot. I really don't. I think they've, and the few things that I've seen as far as like what they've released to the public, because I have no extra like access to it or anything like that.
Through like the Unearthed Arcana stuff.
Yeah,
It's kind of those changes. Yeah.
If they do some of those changes, it's not going to be for the better. But who knows what they're doing? Because they pretty much fired their book team, so even the book team doesn't know.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know. I'm torn. Will I buy it? Probably. Will I have horrible guilt the entire time that I do it? Most likely. But they do have an adventure campaign coming out in May too. That is Vicina, Eve of the Ruin. It's a high stakes adventure in which the fate of the entire multiverse hangs in balance. So they're basically doing Multiverse of Madness from Marvel. Like literally, it's it's a giant god that wants to obliterate all other gods and subjugate all worlds. That was the theme to Multiverse of Madness. So, but it looks cool. I don't even think back Tales of the Valiant because I don't enjoy running 5e, so I won't be giving WotC my money. That's what Wes said, and I knew that.
Yeah.
Wes doesn't like 5e. I don't blame him. There's a lot of things not to like about 5e. But
yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world, but whenever people start running off the items that are terrible. It's like, yeah, I get it. I can't argue. Can't argue against that. So
Look,
It's only bad if you run it as raw, right?
as Wes says, he likes playing it, but he hates running it. But I don't know. I have love-hate relationship with 5e. I think 3.5 was better, but 3.5 got out of hand. So
right.
That being said, I have played way better games since I quit 5e. Like Easy D6 is a good example. It's so quick and easy to run that I don't even have to prepare for it. I just tell them what I'm doing.
Exactly. There's a lot of great games out there now.
Especially if you're a 0.
Yeah, exactly.
I did just get this one, which is Between Clouds, which I'd like to eventually do. It's a Year Zero implementation, but unlike Year Zero, it actually looks happy. I'm not.
Awesome.
I haven't finished reading it, but I'm really interested to see how they made Year Zero happy. Because that game is the darkest game I've ever read. Because I read it in preparation for my review of Ad Astra, and oh my lord, Mutant Year Zero is so depressing. A question I probably missed coming in late, but how to survive zombies if you're a 0? What's a 0? A 0's not a hero, right?
Yeah. How would you survive this apocalypse as just some other chump in the apocalypse, basically?
As yourself.
Yeah. So you're not blasting zombies with ice spells. You're not,
I'm not calling you a chump, Frog. Just to be clear.
I did, but I called all of us chumps. That's the distinction.
Yeah. I was a little bit more specific in my wording, so I apologize.
Yeah.
Link to the book. It's it's hold on. I have it here. Give me 1 sec.
Do you want the short link?
Yeah, give me the short link,
John. Sure, it's a bit.ly link. So bit.ly/zombies Jon. Jon is spelled Jon, and that's all one word. So ZOMBIESJON. That'll take you right to the drive-through page.
But if you go to drive-through.com, drive-through, and just type in how to survive zombies,
yeah,
it pretty much comes right up.
Yep.
Yeah, Mutant Year Zero. I don't know if I could play that game. It's so depressing. I mean, you literally start off and they read to you. They tell you that the entire world is starving. Nobody can breed. And the world is probably going to die in the next 30 days. It's like, okay, why do I want to save it? But the system is really cool. But I don't know how you make a system like that happy.
Yeah.
I guess the major thing that is different in this one than Year Zero is that you have, let me see if I can get to the page. Oh yeah, here we go. You have pets, basically. It's I'm interested in reading it. I backed it on Kickstarter, so I'll definitely read it. So expect a review of that shortly. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't even looked at Forbidden Lands. I hear it's even worse. Um, but yeah, that's all I have to talk about today, folks. Unless chat has questions, we have John still on, and we have years of experience of GMing here. But um, if chat doesn't have anything, I'll try to find somebody that we can uh,
Hold my beer.
Yep, that's one of the skills.
Favorite systems to GM? Well, for me, I think Dave hit it earlier, and that was so I have two. I'll be honest. 3.5 by far has been one of my favorites, and that was just how easy but how deep all your customization could get. And it was, but as Dave so eloquently put, it was off the scale by the time that it was done. It was just off the rails. Another one was a homebrew system that we designed when I was in college. That was a blending of White Wolf's D10 system. Um, all I can remember is Nax. I can't remember what system Nax are from. It's a Western RPG style system, and we kind of played with those and pulled a little bit of 3.5 into it. It was just this huge hodgepodge of things that we liked. Take from this system, take from this one, take from that one, and put into it. And but it was a blast to play.
What about you, John? What's your favorite system to play? GM.
Besides my own, yeah. Honestly, lately it's just been easy D6. It's so easy. I found that the mechanics in general, everything makes sense, and it's really simple to adjudicate on the fly, even if I don't know something for sure, or instead of looking it up, I could, but it's like it makes sense enough that I could just, yeah, okay, this makes sense. Let's roll this. This is what it'll do. So that's been a real nice game to get going with, outside of my own as well.
I would have to say my favorite game, and I'm going to say besides my own game because it's not out yet, but it's close enough so I feel like it will eventually see the light of day. Um, I'd have to say, honestly, Easy D6 also, just because I don't have to do stuff. But I've really started enjoying Pirate Board quite a bit. Um, Thank you, Wes. I'm glad you find that Ironbound is fun. Because it's going to be in a lot of my books, so I hope it's fun.
It's fun.
I'm so worried about it that I get when I'm DMing, it's just a focus of like, what's wrong, what's broken, how can I fix it, what's going on. That I'm not having fun DMing it yet, but I don't think that's. I think that's more of pressure to get it done than it is.
Yeah.
To once it's done and I put it aside and I start working on the next thing, I'll probably enjoy it a lot more.
I think so.
I want to find a group that is willing to play the Cypher system. I tried the Cypher system with some players, and they weren't the right players for the Cypher system. The Cypher system requires a certain type of buy-in to the system. Well, Sage, you keep inviting me to your games, so I keep breaking them. So maybe you should just stop inviting me and John so we stop breaking the game for you. Oh, so if nobody knows, Sage 2 D6 is working on a space opera setting for Easy D6, which is it's really interesting and fun so far. But I keep breaking it, so.
I mean, that's fun too.
rewriting stuff only gets fun so many times.
Yeah, no, 100%.
So the question here, John and Mike, I'm making a superhero game next. Do I also put it in Easy D6? Like I did Grimwood? Or do I just stick with my own system? Because I personally think my own system would handle it easier. I don't think Easy D6 would be easy to handle the balancing of the power structures. But Wasted World might change that. Who knows? Only person who's read it here is probably DM Tails, so. Because he got an early copy. I got him on the show earlier, but he got an early copy.
Yep. Yeah, I think if you build it for the Ironbound system, you can then sort of take a look and just see like how can I translate this to easy D6, just by sort of condensing things. You do have we talked about that too. You do have to account for that power level, right? The difference, the disparity there. So that might take an extra sort of set of mechanics outside of the base Easy D6 game, which again, Wasted World seems to be doing something like that. So we'll all find out hopefully shortly.
Hopefully. He had some problems with the print that was sent over, so
yeah.
Gotta wait for the next version to come. But I should be running a RuneScript TTRPG book in the next couple weeks. Next week they start shipping out late February. Cool. I'd be interested to see what you do with that, Frog. You've been talking about it for a while, so. Yes, I'm definitely trying to stay within the standards of Easy D6. Yes, he is. Wes, he is staying very closely to Easy D6 rules. He's not really going outside the rules, which is nice. Unlike my Grimwood City, which bends the rules quite a bit. Not super out of control, but so I was thinking about this, John. So if I did a superpower world system in Ironbound, I think I would change Arcane to power, so it'd be power, physical, mental, and then that's how I could start to balance the power structure.
Sure. Would that be so? Like, if you have like a, I don't know, like an Incredible Hulk, right? That's definitely physical.
Right, it's physical
versus a Jean Grey mental kind of thing.
Ironically, here's what I'm thinking. The power actually isn't like a thing that you roll on like Arcane is in my current system, but power actually just is a pool that you can add to your physical and mental checks.
Okay.
So that, like, if you have a Hulk, you can take that power and pump it into the physical checks.
Into the physical pool.
Into the physical pool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. You'd have to test again with everything. You have to test it out. But
it's just it's something that just came to me right now while we were thinking about it. So I had to get it out so that I could remember it later.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't even started writing the world. I always start with writing the world.
Okay.
How would you account for normals superhero strength without spending points? Normals would just have more physical and mental points to start. So you could still, I don't know how I would. See, that's the thing. I haven't decided whether there's going to be normal people in my world or if everybody's going to be a superhero.
And it doesn't have to be like a symmetrical design. Your normals don't have to have the same things inherently as the superheroes.
That's true.
If it balances well, right? Like you said, if they just don't have a power pool, but maybe they have more physical and mental or something like that.
Right.
that is an option.
All right. I've kept these two long enough. Let's go ahead and go raid somebody. There's a person who's doing some map making using blah blah blah. My brain is just fried. They're using the AI Dungeon Alchemy.
Never ending.
So
Okay. Dungeon Alchemy.
Dungeon Alchemy. So let's go say hi to them. They don't have a camera. They're doing avatar based stuff, and I don't typically like to do avatar, but I don't really have anybody playing RPGs that I want. Oh, you know what? I changed my mind. There is somebody doing some RPGs that I'd like to go raid. Um, Jay is doing some RPGs. Let's go talk to Jay. Jay's really cool. He's very good at horror. Um, he does mainly White Wolf stuff, but he gets pretty dark, pretty gruesome, pretty quickly. So let's go raid him and say hi to him. Friday we have Grimwood, and then this is the Sunday for Pirate Borg, everyone. So Friday and Sunday we have games. So I will talk to you guys all this coming Friday. John, why don't you stick on? I want to say hi to you.
Yeah.
All right.